Another week, another animatronic. Or 2, or 4, or, well, 8. Look, there's been a lot of animatronics unveiled this week. Anyway, today we'll take a look at the brand new mechanics that we haven't covered before, and we'll make some predictions as well. Let's see what Scott has unveiled for this update. What's up, gamer dudes and gamer gals? Right here, right now, we're taking a look at 8 new mechanics for 8 animatronics revealed for the Ultimate Custom Night. As always, be sure to give this video a big ol' like and subscribe for more Five Nights at Freddy's updates and theories. It's gonna be a long one, so strap in, grab some exotic butters, and be prepared for a heck of an update. Now, without further ado, let's get started with today's video. Scott is officially a quarter of the way done with programming characters because at the time this script is being written, the bar sits at 34%. Originally, I thought Scott would follow a pattern of 2% a day, but it seems that he will update as he pleases. This means we could potentially get 4 days of inactivity, and then the day after get 15 animatronics, which isn't convenient for me, but anything can happen. Before we start, I'm going to briefly speak about our predictions for the Marionette, which went unmentioned in the last video. For those of you who need a refresher, the mechanics are as follows. If you neglect its music box, it will break free of its prison. Once out, it can't be put back inside, and your ventilation system will drain much faster than it did before, causing blackouts and eventually a game over. So if you want to hear my thoughts about the Marionette, check out the last update video where I talk about how it mimics the mechanics seen in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. As for our predictions on this animatronic, we presumed the puppet would retain his mechanics from Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but we assume once he escaped the box, it would be a jump scare and an immediate game over. This is not the case with the new mechanics, as the puppet will not jump scare you and will only slow the ventilation. I like the idea though that the death isn't quick and painful, because it might save a couple seconds before the clock hits 6. The next character was only mentioned in the last video. That's why I'm going to talk about him now. He is quite similar to the previous animatronic I talked about. The description for this animatronic reads, his presence moves randomly to different locations in your office as you play, and he begins to reappear when your mouse cursor moves over him. Be quick to avoid the area of the office that he occupies, or your room might end with a jump scare. I am of course talking about Nightmarion, who was included in the Halloween update of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and as a playable character in Five Nights at Freddy's World. Scott, true to his word, has made the night impossible. The fact that we have to fear the location of our mouse cursor really makes me evaluate my previous thoughts on this night. Originally, I thought Scott was adding too many distraction animatronics, but I take it back. We now have a good deal of killer animatronics, and I don't mean like killer as in cool, although they are awesome. I mean killer as in bloodthirsty. So as for predictions, well, we were wrong, as expected. It's nice to know that we've been wrong on more than half of the animatronics unveiled so far, because our predictions consisted of mostly borrowed mechanics. It's nice to know that Scott is in fact innovating rather than using the same mechanics. That's all for Nightmarion. Now let's take a look at our next animatronic. He is behind you, always, and he is sound activated. If you continue to make a lot of noise, he will slowly become more active, crashing his cymbals together faster and faster, finally ending your round with a startling face-to-face jump scare. If cymbals didn't give it away, Scott is referring to Music Man. So he is located— NANI?! What? Behind you? Oh no, don't tell me we have 360-degree rotation. Why, Scott? Why? So this animatronic is sound activated, meaning pulling up your camera, honking Freddy's nose, and even just closing a door will trigger this animatronic. Not only will your camera/door uses be limited, but according to Scott, the jump scare will be horrifying. I'm happy at least there is an indication of how screwed you are, with the addition of the cymbals crashing louder when you make more noise. It's ironic how his name is Music Man, yet he really doesn't like sound or music. Dare I say, this might be the most difficult animatronic that we've been introduced to so far. We predicted he would be deadly. We were right. Plus, we're only on animatronic 1. Let's see what horrors await us for the next animatronic. He sits in your office throughout the night, usually slouched over. When slouched, be careful not to shine your light on him. If he is standing, however, shine your light to return him to his sitting position. Otherwise, he will attack when you turn away. It's not Plushtrap because he was left out of the game entirely, so it must be Nightmare Balloon Boy, and it is. Whew, his mechanics aren't too hard to follow. All you need to do is shine your light when he stands up. Don't shine the light when he sits down. Easy enough. Predictions usually were right on the money for this animatronic. Predictions actually were right on the money for this animatronic. Yet again, we assumed he would borrow his old mechanics. Due to his easy-to-understand moveset, we'll move on to a more complicated animatronic, or animatronics. She climbs around in the overhead duct system, making her way toward the hoses that drop into your office. Use the heater to repel her, or the audio lure to lure her in her place. She is fooled 100% of the time by the audio lure. You probably won't guess this one. It's Happy Frog. You know that frog animatronic in Five Nights at Freddy's 6? So it looks like Scott finally made use of the hose system, as that will be this animatronic's main transport system. This is also the first time we've heard about the heater. Are you going Pop Goes on us, Scott? For those of you who are unfamiliar with this reference, a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game by the title Pop Goes used a similar mechanic. I assume the heater will repel her, probably sending her back to a previous room. The audio system must halt the movement of the animatronic. She is fooled 100% of the time by the audio system, so this animatronic may not be as big of a threat. It's interesting to note that Scott does not mention a specific hose, meaning this animatronic may appear in multiple hose locations, although there is only 2 hoses. This mechanic carries over to our remaining animatronics, Mr. Hippo, Pig Patch, Ned Bear, and Orville Elephant. They were all purchasable in Five Nights at Freddy's 6 if you didn't know. Since they basically have the same moveset with only increased difficulty, I will talk about which animatronics are most dangerous, so the order from most dangerous to least dangerous is Orville, Ned Bear, Pig Patch, Mr. Hippo, Happy Frog, and that's it. I don't know why that took. Orville is only fooled 10% of the time by the audio, and he is slightly faster than Ned Bear. Ned Bear is fooled 50% of the time and is slightly faster than Pork Patch. You can see where this is going. Pig Patch is fooled 100% of the time and it is slightly faster than Mr. Hippo. Mr. Hippo, you get the idea. We assumed they would all have their own individual mechanics, but we were wrong. Unfortunately though, I've ran out of things to talk about, so if you want to request a certain mechanic, it's not too late yet. Definitely visit the Steam link in the description to request a mechanic from Scott. You can also go down in the comments of this video and you can comment down below what mechanics you want for the remaining animatronics in the Ultimate Custom Night. I reply and view all comments for the first week, so definitely comment down below. Sorry about the lackluster script. I'll have a better performance for you next week. Also, I have like an hour to make this video, so yeah, I better hurry. Thank you for selecting Awesomegamerdude. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all back here soon. Goodbye, everybody.
This is it.